What's going on, guys? Hope you're enjoying your weekend. I finally watched the movie Air. Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Cannot wait to share my thoughts on this movie. So let's do a review. First off, if you guys have not watched this movie, please watch it as soon as you can. It's definitely worth watching in theaters. I saw it in theaters. So worth watching in theaters, 100%. I enjoyed it start to finish. I honestly don't have anything bad to say about this movie. It is fan-freaking-tastic, okay? I knew it was going to be a good, I could tell it was going to be a good movie from trailers and, as soon as it debuted, one of the film festivals, I don't remember which one it was, reviews were coming out for it. Oh my gosh, people were just raving about it. And then when it came out in theaters and I saw fans raving about it, I was like, I definitely can't wait to watch this movie. And I was hoping I'd be able to watch it in theaters during its theatrical run. I was going to watch it on Amazon regardless, but I really wanted to be able to see it in theaters, so I'm glad I had the chance to do that. I want to watch it again. I want to watch it again. I'm looking forward to watching it again. Ben Affleck did a great job directing, as he usually does. His track record for directing is pretty high, high standards, so he definitely did a great job directing. I think him and Matt Damon made a great producing team again. They have been a good team, for decades. They brought on a great cast, Jason Bateman, Marlon Wayans, to Chris Tucker, great Viola Davis. Oh my goodness. It was just so good. The story was so good. You learn a lot about, if you're interested in Nike, Michael Jordan, basketball, you learn so much about that whole story, and it's super interesting. The story never lost me. It was never boring. There was not any low points. Learning about how they came up with the whole design for Air Jordan and seeing that, just some of that process. And the whole story behind it was so awesome. It was so good. Matt Damon's character, he nailed it. All of them, really. Like I said, they all did a fantastic job in their roles. The comedy was so on point. It was such a great example of appropriate, entertaining humor that didn't distract or detract from the heart of the film. There's a lot of it's very emotional. There was a couple times that I found myself getting kind of emotional and almost teary-eyed, and I couldn't quite understand why. If you've seen the movie, you might understand what I'm saying, but they're compelling. These are all, like I said, a very, top-notch cast of actors. So that was one part of it, because they're very compelling and convincing. But just the fact maybe also that it's, based on truth events, and, the story is a real story. All of that, it was just very compelling. There was a lot of emotion, like I said. But the humor and the comedy didn't take away from that. It was very appropriate. It was great. It didn't take away from those heartfelt, heavier moments. It was just so great. I honestly, like I said, I can't wait to watch it again. Ben Affleck's character was actually pretty freaking hilarious, and interactions between all of the characters was just so on point. And like I said, there was really interesting things about the actual events that led up to Michael Jordan choosing to go with Nike over, Adidas and Converse. And it was just really cool, very cool to learn about that whole thing and see them kind of formulating what the shoe is going to look like, and see the reveal of the shoe, because the shoe is kind of a character almost in itself. Gone in 60 Seconds, Eleanor is a character in the movie, and it's a huge part of the story, right? And you kind of wait to see that car. It's kind of almost a reveal in a way. There's emotional attachment to it. That there's something similar with, the Air Jordan shoe in this movie. You're kind of waiting to see, even though we know what they look like. They've been around for decades now, but it's just cool to see that come to life, in a movie. Learning more about that, just that history, and kind of what went on behind the scenes to bring that to fruition, and seeing how much of a impact it has been for for so many years, and it continues to be. And it's just really cool story. Very cool story. And I think just congratulations to Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Chris Tucker. I mean, everybody involved in this movie, congratulations to them because it is so good. And I want as many people to see it as possible. Like, please watch it in theaters. I mean, obviously, like, you know, just a heads up for the language. If you're thinking about going as a family, you know, that's at your discretion, of course, but just a heads up on the language. That's really the only adult or mature content that's in the film. Everything else is, you know, image-wise, there's nothing that's not family friendly. It's just the language. That's the only thing. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I'm so glad I got to watch it in theaters. So again, I highly, highly recommend this movie. There's a lot of great movies based on sports, whether it's an individual, like a certain player or a team or a coach, you know, those kinds of movies, whether they're true stories or not, there's a lot of really like ones that have stood the test of time and just become classics in that genre. Jerry Maguire, Remember the Titans, you know, those kind of movies. And even though Jerry Maguire is a drama, and it's not, you know, it's not based on actual events like Remember the Titans and this movie Air, it still is always like, I mean, I still love that movie as much as I did. I mean, I've always loved that movie. It just has that, you know, it's such a great movie that it just, for decades, it just has stayed as a classic in that genre. It sets a standard for that genre movie, and I feel like Air is in that category of movies that are based on, you know, those kinds of stories. So shout out to everyone involved in making that movie because they did an amazing job. And I think that Michael Jordan hit it on the nose when he told Ben Affleck and, you know, his team of people that the one request he had for the movie was that Viola Davis play his mother. It's awesome that they were actually able to fulfill that. Watch the movie. Tell me what you thought about it. If you've already seen it, tell me what you think. I definitely wanted to share my thoughts on it. It's been out for a little while now, but I knew that I was going to watch it, so I really wanted to share my thoughts. But thank you guys for watching. Check out anything you might have missed on the channel recently. There's obviously going to be a lot to talk about in the coming days because, you know, the Flash trailer is dropping on Tuesday, and that same day it is also screening at CinemaCon. So we'll see if anything gets leaked. Kind of tends to happen at these sort of events. But you know, I'm sure the trailer will give us a lot to talk about anyway, regardless. And then, of course, next weekend is the Full Circle event. So there's going to be a lot of DC stuff going on this week to talk about. So do my best to keep updated with everything. But in the meantime, thank you for the support on the channel. Shout out to any new subscribers. We'll see you soon.